Bill, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Jennifer, thanks for having us. Happy holidays to you.
You too. We're thrilled to have you. So, Bill, I have fresh breaking news. Actually, you recently, Digital recently released the Data Gravity Index, which explores trends in the growth and exchange of enterprise data. What is this Data Gravity Index, and really, what did the research reveal? I was not familiar with this.
Sure. Well, our society, as you know, is becoming increasingly more data intensive in everything that we do. And as more data accumulates, it takes its own mass and starts to exert a gravitational pull on applications and systems and other large data sets, same way as a planet attracts its moons. So customers need our insights, and to help, we're investing in ongoing research to study this phenomenon. It's our recently released Data Gravity Index, DGX, is a first of its kind study. It's a global forecast to quantify the creation, aggregation, and private exchange of enterprise data and intensity across key metros around the world. Just today, in fact, we unveiled the latest expanded set of findings that covers 53 metros across 23 distinct industries globally. And the top 6 global metros expected to experience the most dramatic increase in data intensity are Jakarta, Singapore, Rome, Hong Kong, Melbourne, and Atlanta. From a vertical standpoint, our updated study shows that banking and financial services, manufacturing, and insurance will experience the fastest data gravity intensity growth rates through 2024. These findings will be critical in helping our customers plan their future growth due to the phenomenon of data gravity, where our customers locate their data in the future, and this becomes a highly strategic decision on the part of our customers.
Interesting. And am I right in saying you have presence almost in each of those regions you mentioned?
We do, with the exception of Jakarta.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. So we're going to get into
we have an option on land in Rome.
Got it.
We haven't built anything in Rome.
Great. That's timely announcement and a great way to start our interview. So, so much of this COVID crisis clearly has taught us the need for so many industries and consumers, essentially, to make this digital pivot. Your model and the data center peers are the perfectly suited for that. You all discuss 3 steps that accelerate customer adoption. These steps include architecture, platform, and roadmap. Can you discuss how digital can help your customers with each of these steps?
Sure. So our customers' reliance on digital services was laid bare when we entered a world of remote everything during the pandemic. Data centers entered the spotlight as they served as the central nervous system for our digital economy. Enterprises were on a digital transformation journey pre-pandemic, and the ones that have thrived have done so because they've accelerated those strategies to stay relevant and competitive. We think these changes are here for the long term, and businesses know that they'll need to operate ubiquitously and on demand, augmented by real-time intelligence, even when we're no longer facing a pandemic. And these changes to business are forcing businesses to re-architect towards a decentralized infrastructure, which removes data gravity barriers to accommodate distributed workflows. Digital Realty helps organizations rise to the occasion in their business in a couple of different ways. First, as to architecture, our pervasive data center architecture provides a step-by-step strategy to create the new IT architecture required for digital transformation. Second, regarding platform, with Platform Digital, our global data center platform spans 49 metros now in 24 countries. Customers can deploy this new decentralized IT architecture with one provider. Finally, as to roadmap, we're continually to invest in Platform Digital and expanding capabilities via our platform roadmap, organized around the 4 C's: coverage, connectivity, capacity, and control. To sum it up, we at Digital are committed to being the global data center platform to enable our customers to scale their digital business.
Um, the four C's clearly are, and we're going to get into how you're doing that, but it's definitely I think the point, an appropriate direction of where to go. But digital's also done more on the softer side too. It's been a very philanthropic company, especially during this pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about what digital as a company has done for the global community during this obviously very difficult time?
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously, we've been very fortunate to do as well as we have during the pandemic financially. So we're in a position to give back, and we've tried to do that. We have made a $1 million philanthropic contribution to help support organizations around the world combat the COVID-19 pandemic. We waived fees to expand connectivity for government, medical, emergency services, and educational verticals for 6 months. And in the wake of recent civil unrest, we've also made a significant gift to Brian Stevenson's Equal Justice Initiative. We feel a great responsibility at Digital to do our part to keep the central nervous system of the digital economy running while ensuring the health and safety of our employees, our customers, and our partners. We've remained 100% operational, and we owe a debt of gratitude to all of our employees in critical operational roles who are continuing to play a vital role in letting people around the world connect and keep commerce and information flowing.
That's wonderful. Many companies should be following your lead. In a recent shifting to the topic of hybrid cloud, because when I was an analyst, we often talked about hybrid cloud as kind of the next trend. And I recently read in a recent presentation that Digital put out that outlined that I think it was 69% of companies use the hybrid cloud solution. Frankly, it surprised me that it was so high, because I used to think that, again, this was an on-the-come trend. But I guess I would be curious as to your thoughts. Do you think there's different dimensions of the hybrid cloud still left to be played out? How do you view that right now?
We're definitely seeing enterprises gravitate to hybrid IT, and Digital Realty is becoming the home of it. The current backhaul architecture can't address enterprise data gravity needs, including data exchange across multiple internal and external platforms, local data copies, and the ability to run performant analytics across each global point of presence. Platform Digital solves these data gravity challenges by bringing the data created by users, things, applications, clouds, and networks to the centers of data exchange.
Got it. And the other major part of your business so clearly is hyperscale, and hyperscale has had a tremendous year. I mean, I think if we looked beyond or earlier than March 13th or whenever our lives changed in the way they have, from January on, we thought it would be a very good year for hyperscale for the industry because 2019 was a little bit softer. I think the stat is something like in the top 10 markets, expected leasings expected to be in the range of 500 to 600 megawatts, and that level would be 30 to 40% over our previous record in 2018. Clearly, you're not just a hyperscale player, but that hyperscale customer segment has been a tremendous tailwind for you all this year. Curious as to what you see in your crystal ball for next year. I mean, trees don't grow to the sky, or do they? Do you still see hyperscale kind of growing here?
Hyperscale is our fastest growing addressable market. And the hyperscale and enterprise growth fuel each other. Mm-hmm. Hybrid IT deployments among enterprises will become more entrenched in the future as companies seek to harness data gravity to get performance increases from placing AI compute near their data sets, which in many cases mean being in close proximity to key cloud providers. We predicted that 2020 would be an important year for hyperscale growth, and this trend is playing out across the US, Europe, and APAC. Demand remains incredibly strong. With Platform Digital, we're in a differentiated position to win with global hyperscalers for many reasons. Being across numerous countries and markets where they want us to grow with adjacent land holding to support their future expansion plans is critical. And we've been entering new markets side by side with the hyperscalers where there is no truly established player that delivers to our capabilities or their needs.
Got it. Okay. I want to pivot to cross connects too, because again, you're a much more diversified company than you were, I'd say 3 to 4 years ago, and we're going to get into the acquisitions. But if I have my number right, you have about 162,000 cross connects and have seen tremendously nice growth in this, very high margin segment. And I'm curious what you see as the main drivers here. Has COVID, helped drive more demand? How important is low latency to your customers?
Well, connectivity has been a huge part of our value proposition for customers. And you're right, we have about 162,000 cross connects. Proximity to the hyperscalers, networks, and the connected community of enterprise customers is becoming even more important as companies embrace digital business models. This trend was already well underway, but the pandemic has helped fast forward digital transformation. It's an important component of our strategy with Platform Digital, creating a foundation for digital business and the home for hybrid IT.
And then as the final, I know we touched on enterprise, but I do want to kind of recircle that point. Third quarter, you had, I think it was a record, 130 new logos, if I'm right about that. Curious, you talked about enterprise and hyperscale being, hand in hand, but how are you seeing this enterprise opportunity? Has COVID, I think this is an obvious question, but increased the urgency for the enterprises to work with third-party data centers?
Well, enterprise is our largest addressable market.
Okay.
Digital transformation was well underway, and the pandemic has accelerated it. We're seeing a trend where enterprise customers want a single source, a partner that can cover the full spectrum of service needs all around the world in a consistent and connected global platform. We are exceedingly well positioned to deliver that with Platform Digital. To account for data gravity, organizations must design their infrastructure networks in a more data-centric fashion, inverting traffic flow and bringing users, networks, and clouds to privately hosted enterprise centers of data. The location of enterprise data should be the strategic decision. This presents an opportunity for us and for the broader data center industry.
Got it. Okay. That's great. Clearly, you can't talk about data centers without talking about scale, and scale is definitely needed. I'm not sure anyone has more scale than you all. Equinix may be neck and neck with you. But these past 2 years, you and your M&A team have been really incredibly active, getting deeper into Brazil, Europe, US clearly, and Asia. I'm curious, are there any missing areas where you think you could further deepen this asset mix?
There's been a lot of organic growth as well, procuring land and facilities, in addition to the key M&A, like the combination with Interaction, and more recently our acquisitions in Croatia and Greece. Our joint ventures have also been a route for expansion, both in Japan and Latin America. We've grown significantly to become the largest global provider of multi-tenant data center capacity by square footage. And this year alone, we've expanded Platform Digital into 15 new metros. Our strategy will continue to be driven by customer need, and we'll continue to procure land and facilities and build where our customers need us to be.
You mentioned Interaction, a name I used to follow when it was public. It's been, I believe, 9 months since that closed. Realize it's still early, but how is Europe faring versus your original expectations? You mentioned Greece, Zurich also has been in recent news out of that. I used to say as an analyst that Europe was about 2 to 3 years behind the US. I'm curious, given you're well under the hood there, do you agree with that?
Well, these, as you might imagine, have not been your typical 9 months. Integration has been our top priority for 2020, following the combination with Interaction. The sales engines are actually working quite well together, and we've begun to realize some of the cross-selling opportunities we envisioned when we contemplated this transaction. Of our 130 new logos last quarter, 40 were sourced through Interaction. The Data Gravity Index shows that Europe is an enterprise data superpower, and we're expanding platform digital in Europe accordingly. EMEA data gravity intensity is increasing at faster rates in North America, and EMEA is expected to retain the highest intensity through 2024. As you mentioned, we just announced an expansion in Zurich, and we established our presence in Greece with the acquisition of Lambda Helix in November. We've also expanded in Vienna, Croatia, Madrid, Marseille, Paris, Dublin, and Frankfurt.
I wish I could be an analyst again and do due diligence over there once life becomes more normal again. Many great places. Just two remaining questions, Bill. Today, over 60% of your revenue comes from North America. And as you mentioned, you look at the four main geographic areas. You have North America, EMA, APAC, and LATAM. And I'm just curious, which of these, almost your favorite child question, even though we all love our kids equally, which is your favorite spot right now? Or put another way, are you most excited about for the coming years in terms of dynamic growth opportunities?
Well, I'm going to answer the question that I love all my children equally. We think there's an exciting opportunity across all the regions as businesses become even more global, and data gravity is intensifying everywhere, creating a greater need for centers of data exchange around the world, which fortunately maps to our global platform. In the third quarter, activity was well balanced across all three regions, with the Americas and EMEA each contributing about 40% of total bookings, while Asia Pac accounted for almost 20%.
That's great. And my last question, and kind of the bigger picture one, I certainly know you can't give guidance, nor would I ask you, but I guess I'm curious, when kind of discussing your 2021 to-do list per se, what can you tell us kind of your top three priorities as you look at this, we put behind this unforgettable year behind us?
Well, big picture, our priorities heading into 2021 are: one, helping our customers understand and design for data gravity, to help them effectively digitally transform and scale their digital businesses. Data gravity is growing rapidly across all regions and industries, and we want to turn data gravity into an opportunity that organizations must design their infrastructure and networks in a more data center fashion, inverting traffic flow and bring users, networks, and clouds to privately hosted enterprise data. Second, we want to continue to expand platform digital to serve as a platform for scaling digital business globally. Platform Digital is the only platform offering the full spectrum of data center solutions that enable customers to deploy new decentralized IT architecture with a single data center provider. Our platform integrates the physical and virtual worlds within proximity to centers of data exchange wherever they need to be around the globe, whether it's San Francisco to Singapore or it's from Paris to Sao Paulo. Third, we want to continue to grow sustainably, including executing against new ambitious carbon reduction targets, reflecting our long-standing commitment to sustainability. We are targeting a 68% reduction in direct emissions and a 24% reduction in indirect emissions by 2030, in line with the most ambitious 1.5-degree climate change scenario. We were the first data center provider of our size and scale to join the Science Based Targets Initiative, along with thousands of other companies, including Microsoft, Amazon, and Walmart.
Well, it's going to be a great chapters to play out, and I'm really anxious to watch the ride of digital. I think it's going to be a very good one. I can't thank you enough, Bill, for taking the time out of what I know to be a very busy schedule to talk to us today, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great to see you again, and happy holidays. Best wishes to you.
Thank you.
Take care.